Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. What's going on, Colts Nation? I am Eric Smith, your host of the Colts Cast today. It's just me today. Jamal is, he's partying out somewhere. He didn't feel like potting today, but here I am with my IPA, of course. We're about to have some fun today. We really are. The AFC South has to have collectively the youngest starting quarterback group in the NFL. I believe that's the case. Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, and the two other ones as the topic of conversation today. Anthony Richardson, our boy, and Will Levis. Two guys who are set to take the next step in 2024. I cannot wait to watch football in a few months. It's starting to itch. I'm getting that. Like I need football back. We got playoffs going on for hockey and basketball. Got some baseball, but really my love is football. So disclaimer, real quick. I am not a Will Levis hater, but I am a big Anthony Richardson fan. Both of these guys, they could end up having a good career, a great career in the NFL. Shoot, Levis could end up having the better career. But today, I'm here to give you my opinion and 3 reasons why Anthony Richardson will have a better career than Will Levis. So probably strike a divide between some fans, especially Titans fans. I know y'all peep in every now and then. So be it. Hey, let's get right into it. But 2 things real quick. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts, Colts Nation, and anybody else out there. Love to hear everyone's thoughts. I'm very open-minded, so, send them all right here. And 2, look, please check out the merch store. It's going to be in the description. It's going to be also a pinned comment. It's on Printify. Hey, don't worry. The link will be there if you're on YouTube. We'll put it in the audio description as well, but definitely on YouTube. Look, let's get right into it. What's one of my factors that makes Anthony Richardson a better bet than Will Levis? I would have to say one. This is no order, sack avoidance. So the ability to avoid a sack. Just because you're good at avoiding sacks doesn't make you a good NFL quarterback. But I would say sack avoidance, it's a premier trait that gets overlooked. Think about how well Patrick Mahomes eludes pressure. How good is he at avoiding sacks? He's really good. He makes magic. Anthony Richardson's pressure to sack rate in college was 9.2%. Now, he has such a small sample size in the NFL. I don't think it's representative, so we won't get into that. I mean, he played, maybe 9-10 quarters. But Will Levis's pressure to sack rate was 26.8% in college. Now, Will Levis did play a lot more games than Richardson. And in the NFL, that number is still in the 20s for last year in the NFL. So I don't have the exact percentage, but it was in the 20s. I believe low 20s. Don't quote me on that. All of these stats are according to PFF. There are quarterbacks who have succeeded with a high pressure to sack rate. It can happen. But Colts Nation, we saw on a variety of plays last year where Richardson turned a negative play into a positive. I remember him getting tackled and throwing it with a quarter of a full throwing motion. He still flicked it really, really far. Impressive stuff. People quickly learned that Justin Fields, Sam Howell had major weaknesses in this department. I'm not saying eating sacks all the time led to their downfall, but, it's an element in their game that has proven to be a significant red flag. For Levis, being sacked over a quarter of the time when pressured is crazy to think about it. Probably a fifth of the time in the NFL, if you want to look at it from his NFL stats. But, Richardson has his number in that aspect. So what do we have for number 2? What's the second factor that I have over Will Levis? Athleticism. Let's keep it simple. Betting on athletic gifts isn't a bad idea. That's what the Colts did. Did I mention Anthony Richardson is the most athletic quarterback of all time based on the relative athletic score, the raw score? 6'4", 245 pounds, lightning speed at his size, alien athleticism at his position. Unique talent, really is. And I mean, we're talking about swinging at the fences. This is what Anthony Richardson is. While Levis is a very athletic quarterback, I still believe, and I truly believe this, Richardson is a tier above. Really is. He's almost in the tier of his own. Just looking at the rushing stats from last season from both of these guys. Again, Anthony Richardson didn't play as much, but guess what? They both had the same number of rushing attempts, identical. Will Levis, 25 attempts for 57 yards. That's going to be a 2.3 yards per attempt for 1 touchdown. And his longest run last season was 11 yards. Let's look at Anthony Richardson, 25 attempts for 136 yards, 5.4 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, longest run, 23 yards. Woo. So no matter how you slice it, being a talented runner at the quarterback position, it does strike fear for opposing teams. It stresses the defense. It's another element that has to be accounted for. Of course, you still have to be a really good passer, or they'll zone in on that one element. And I know what people are thinking right now. The anti-Richardson people, I know people want to say that's the reason he got hurt. He's a running quarterback. He doesn't know how to protect himself. I don't know about that. Played a full season at Florida as a starter and had no major injuries. He was doing home run type of runs there, and he didn't miss a game. And they utilized basically the same exact play style. They didn't limit his running ability there. Guy got hurt on a routine tackle. Let's be clear. Very unlucky, in my opinion. Sure, he can protect himself better and play smarter. I truly believe that, but I think calling him injury prone, I think that's a reach. Again, my opinion. But hey, his shoulder looks good. Looks great, I would say, in off-season workouts. So that's number 2, athleticism. So what's my number 3? My third factor I have for Anthony Richardson is he's in a better situation. He truly is. Richardson is 22 years old. Will Levis, 25 in June. Shane Steichen, we got Shane Steichen, who's been, he's had experience developing quarterbacks like Justin Herbert's, Jalen Hurts. He could have won Coach of the Year last season. Honestly, I think he would have. If we would have made the playoff, I think he would have been Coach of the Year. Again, my opinion. But Shane Steichen is the better coach right now than year 1 Brian Callahan until further notice. We won't know because Callahan's in his first season. But we also have this guy named Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, recent comeback player of the year, gets to help mentor Richardson, while Levis gets to hang out with Mason Rudolph and Malik Willis. Different quarterback room, Jonathan Taylor, and you guys better agree with me here, Colts Nation. Jonathan Taylor is better than Tony Pollard. Let's get that straight. Did y'all hear that? Jonathan Taylor is better than Tony Pollard. Hey, the Colts offensive line, arguably a top 5 line last season. Let's be honest right now. I think firm top 10. You could make a case for top 5. They're light years ahead of the Tennessee Titans offensive line. I don't care that they hired Bill Callahan to fix their O-line at the moment because we need results first. We have results for the Colts offensive line. They exceeded expectations last year. Not only did they return to the norm, they went above and beyond. My boy Bernard Ryman took a huge step up. Okay, let's keep going. Would you rather have Michael Pittman Jr. or a 32-year-old DeAndre Hopkins or Calvin Ridley? I'll say it. So I'll defend Titans fans here. I could see it either way. Calvin Ridley, that man, he was really good on the Falcons. Then he had his gambling issue with the Jaguars. I think he had a lackluster season. To me, they had him running like longer developing routes only. Christian Kirk got to be that quick game over the middle. He got to do everything actually, but Ridley was utilized quite differently. Didn't have the volume he's probably used to. So was it scheme related or because he's just not great in those areas? Not sure. Still, I don't think the Titans have an edge in that department. I don't know if we do either. So I would say our wide receiver room is comparable. But everything I said before that, Anthony Richardson is in a better situation. He really is, and that means a lot. Quarterbacks in bad situations, it can make the quarterback look bad. For example, New York Giants, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, I think it's still out to see if he's actually the future, but I would say he's not in a great situation. So it's really hard to evaluate that quarterback in those situations. You haven't given him, weapons, an offensive line, a good running game. It's really hard to make something out of that situation. Speaking of scheme, Richardson seemed to fit perfectly in Shane Steichen's system. Looks like a really good decision maker on the read option RPO plays. He's made some beautiful throws. We've seen it in the small sample size. Looks poised in the pocket. Look, as far as his short rookie season, I don't think he looked as raw as people thought. I just thought there was a lot of really good things we saw. It reassured me he was ahead of schedule. I'm liking it. Levis, I'll be honest, he showed glimpses at times too. Magnificent comeback against Miami last year. I really thought Miami had that thing in the bag. It was weird. I saw the Titans when I was like, well, what just happened? And Will Levis has to get some credit for that. Overall, Anthony Richardson, again, he's in a better situation than Will Levis currently, in my opinion. Like I said, it's hard to beat a bad situation. Look at the Bryce Young situation. I know I said Daniel Jones, but look at Bryce Young. That's an absolutely horrendous situation. That organization is, I don't know, that owner. We're not going to get into that, but that's just another example. I would say you can beat a bad situation if your quarterback's playing to an elite level. You think of Andrew Luck. He did it. He looked super proficient. We didn't have a running game, no offensive line to protect him, and Andrew Luck looked like Andrew Luck. Deshaun Watson was electric with Houston with a below-average supporting cast. He was arguably a top 5 quarterback at the time with not, the most ideal situation. So it's possible. But again, the facts, at least to me, I won't say facts. My opinion is Anthony Richardson is in a better situation. So those are my 3 factors, making Colts Anthony Richardson just a better NFL bet right now than Will Levis. We have sack avoidance, we have athleticism, and we have the better situation. Again, everyone, let me know your thoughts, Colts Nation. It's been a while since I've been on the pod. Got a long off season to go. Make sure, if you're still listening right now, hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below with your thoughts. Love to hear what y'all think. That's going to be it for me, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content.